When did you know that you were done with finance, and when did you move into ad tech, and how did that opportunity present itself?
Like honestly, like finger in the air. I I got in at a time, so I was working for as an accounts receivable at a logistics company. Let me tell you, that is the most exhilarating job. You're just, I can tell you, it is just matching invoices. And I was like, again, just a job. And I'm honestly, I think I was applying to, I had felt like 100 jobs a day, and just submit. A lot in finance, and honestly, I guess one of them I submitted to, and I don't even remember hitting it, was this company called the Exchange Lab. Don't even remember applying to it. I think I just saw it. I actually probably thought it was a finance
I
company.
was gonna say it does have more of a financial name, like a financially themed name, so
Yeah. Well,
probably
to
thought
be
you were
honest,
trading
and
stocks.
yeah, like honestly, that's like, but I honestly don't even remember replying to it. And so I, again, was just throwing enough things at the wall, hoping something would stick. And so I get this email back. It's like, hey, thanks for applying. I'm like, you're welcome. It's like, you want to come in for an interview? I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, it's in the big city, paying $40,000 a year. Like, life is good. And honestly, so I get ready for the interview. And again, this is where stuff just kind of works out. And I'm like legitimately sick, like actually full on like sick. And I'm, trying to mend myself up, like trying to get on the mend. And I remember emailing and being like who calls in sick to an interview? Like they
Mm.
probably have 100 other applicants, and like I screwed this up. Like I'm like, thank you for the opportunity. I know this looks like, and I guess at the time, they're desperate for programmatic traffickers because they didn't exist. Like, no, we'll reschedule, we'll reschedule. So yeah, I mean, get brought back in, and to be honest, don't even do well on that interview. Get brought back in again, and funny enough, that's where I met one of my very good buddies, Ben Bookbinder. He works at Perion right now. It's he was the one. Everyone was like, yeah, maybe not overly sure about this Wade guy. And Ben's like, yeah, he seems like a cool bro. Why don't we give him a shot? And that's literally how I got in. And from there it's interesting, right? So you go in, I'm so excited, but I had no idea what programmatic advertising. At that time in 2013, no one did, right? And so me, Ben, and this guy Drew were some of the first programmatic traffickers, or people that were setting up the campaigns in all of Canada. So I remember telling my mom, so excited, go to the big city, not realizing that you kind of go, and this is very much startup. Like I'm employee number like 8 or 9, and you kind of get in, and it's this, and here's your desk. It's like a wooden fold out desk with a couple crappy tall desktop computers. I'm like, oh no, what have I done? And then you get thrown all these terms like CPM and pixeling and retargeting. I'm like, what the heck are you guys talking about? Like, I almost quit. I think after the second week, because I felt useless, right? I'm like, I can't even help, because I had no idea what even I'm looking at. And that was kind of the first foray. And, I kind of stuck through it. And, at some point, just like the second shoe drops, and it all starts to click. Right. And it was fortunate enough that, that was a company at the time that was the first one ever to do meta DSP. Right. Because
Mm.
back in the day, only certain DSPs were only good at certain things. So we kind of did, well, let's onboard all of them and get the best from each. And so they were really at the frontier of and leader of programmatic advertising at the time, and really taught me how to test and learn, how to build on that and not just deliver, but actually provide action and value for your client.
You mentioned there was a certain point that it just clicked and everything changed for you. Do you remember that moment?
I do. I do. It does. I don't know. It's the way, it's just something that, it's one of those things that I tell people now. It usually takes about 4 months to really kind of get in. And
Yeah.
it was this, it was this, it sounds dumb, but I read this quote in like Strategy Magazine or something. It was like, programmatic advertising allows you not to have a fixed view on who your audience is. And I don't know why, like, because that was the reason why it just stuck with me. It's like, okay, so there doesn't need to be a precise science to this, right? It doesn't need to be zeros and ones. There actually is some variability to it. Like, it's going to go up, down, left, right. And I think it was at that point, I'm like, well, everything doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to work. Right. And I
Mm,
think that is for me in my brain, it still sticks with me to this day in terms of, okay, it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to work. And that's where the kind of that test and learn. And once I started having that in my mindset, everything just started to click.